good afternoon, everyone, or good morning or good evening, wherever you're connecting from. And of course, very welcome to join us for this YouTube live event today. I'm here with Quinn and Diana, and we're very excited and a little bit nervous to discuss our experiences through this live event.
Yeah.
My name is Daria. I'm originally Italian, and I'm a student for the Masters of Public Health. And it would be great if you guys can introduce yourselves just a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So hi everybody, my name is Diana Lopez Martinez. I'm currently in my second year of the Masters in Applied Cultural Analysis program. I'm originally from Mexico, but I grew up in the US.
And my name is Quinn. I'm from Vietnam, and I'm doing a third year Bachelor in Development Studies. So very excited to be here with everyone.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And before we get started, we would, of course, also love to hear where you're from and what you're interested in studying, of course, at Lund University. So feel free to pop any texts or any messages in the chat, and then I'll keep an eye on them and then select a few questions that come along the way. And I guess just as a way to kickstart the conversation, maybe we can discuss a little bit how a typical day looks for us nowadays with your programs. Yeah.
Well, right now it's cold, so I think that's one thing that every single morning when I wake up, I think once you start living in Lund, and maybe you already do this at home, but I always, first thing when I wake up is like, what is the weather app? What does it look like out there?
I think mine is probably like, I have my favorite jacket. Like, it's really cold, so you just pick like either a summer, autumn-ish jacket, and then you go for the winter jacket. Right now, it's very winter jacket moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think like I've talked about it with a couple of Swedish friends, and I'm already sort of double panting, as in I always have as well, of course. But then I think that's a bit like for the Swedish that comes at maybe around January or so.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms, of course, of academic life, like when do your classes start? More or less, around what time?
Oh, depends on the schedule, isn't it? Like mine is just it's a development study, so we only have one class per day.
And you're doing the bachelor's, right?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. And so usually the time, again, depends on each year. Start absolutely like 8, but then we have academic quarters, so 8:15, and then the latest class you can have is probably 3. So then from 3 to 5. But then again, only one class per year. One class per day, and then you just keep checking your schedule. About 3 to 5 classes per week, I'd say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
3 to 5 classes. Okay, that's quite a bit. Yeah.
In my program right now, because I'm in the second year and I'm kind of ramping up to do my thesis, I only meet with my course and my classmates once a week. And it is like a one-time meeting per week, but we are there for 3 hours with a little break in the middle.
Right, yeah.
So that's what my schedule looks like now. And of course, the courses here are kind of structured in there like you're doing part 1, then part 2, part 3 of the program. And so my schedule has been changing, like every 1 to 2 months we see a shift. Like it's not I'm going to have the same schedule for half of a year.
Oh, right.
It's going to be changing as we go along.
Yeah.
No, sure.
Oh, yeah. And then definitely have time for fika. Because it's obviously, embedded in the Swedish culture as well. So that we as internationals, we get that perk, I'd say.
Yeah, it's definitely a perk. It's a perk.
It's a perk. Just like having a little break in between. Maybe you have time like before or after class. Just like a little break in between. Always very nice.
Of course. Yeah, I think from at least my master's program, I think because it's under the Faculty of Medicine, we have a lot of classes, especially I think during the first year it was maybe at least 1 class a day, but actually sometimes even 2. So it created a very nice environment because then we really knew each other very well in the program. Yeah. Because we were all constantly hanging out with each other. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, indeed, a lot of fika. And then of course there was also the Kaneobulle day. The
It just happened. Yeah.
Did it just
happen?
Did it? Oh, I did also
October.
miss it.
It's okay.
Oh, that's
It was
too
in
bad.
October, but you know what's coming up? or maybe it already passed as well. Semladagen.
No, that's February.
February?
February and March.
Okay, next. I associate it with the cold weather.
Socks though.
You're wearing...
I can't show this on live stream.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But I'm wearing semla socks because I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah.
As a pastry.
Should we explain semla? Semla is like a sweet, it's a sweet, lots of baked goods in Sweden, of course. Oh, would you like to explain it? You have it on your socks.
Oh, right. So we have like 2 layers of bread-ish, right? And then you have like this thick layer of cream in the middle, and then the almond paste. At the bottom. So.
Yeah.
And both of your programs are, of course, in any case, based in Lund. So I imagine that you both live in Lund as well.
I used to live in Lund.
Okay.
In the first year of my program, I lived in Lund, and recently, during the summer, I moved actually to like a more rural area.
Ah, right.
So if you take the train up, it's like 20 minutes away.
Okay. And how do you both handle transportation? Do you take bikes, or how do you usually
mainly
go?
trains.
Mainly trains. Okay.
Mainly trains. So just train every day.
Yeah.
I have a mix, especially since I moved to the countryside. I basically have my bike for everything that I need to do in my day-to-day. I need to go to the grocery store. I need to take a bus to Lund. I can ride my bike to the cities, or the town, I guess. It's a small town. To the city center, take a bus there. And so it's like using the bike for that, but then I depend a lot on the buses and the trains.
Yeah. And how did that change from from the US and from Vietnam in terms of did that change a lot?
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's
from
a
my
lot.
perspective,
Yes,
like
of
coming
course.
from Italy, or at least like in the place that I lived before, I always like took the bus or the train, but here I walk the whole day.
Oh.
Even if it's very cold, it doesn't really matter, but I end up walking the whole day. Anyway.
And when you walk, you heat up too. So it's just like, you're fine.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think for Vietnam, it's like motorbike.
Oh, but that's also quite cool.
Yeah.
No?
But then because of the motorbike, I mean, you get lazier, I'd say. The whole, because you just vroom across the street, I'd say.
It's very convenient.
Yeah, it's very convenient, and you drive very long distance as well. But in here, it's like, you were forced to walk.
Of course,
So in itself, is a form of exercise. We get to be lazy about exercise, guys.
It's built into the lifestyle.
Exactly. Yeah. Just don't feel bad if you go home and you're like, I didn't exercise. No, you did. You absolutely did with the walking.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, in the US, I think if you're from a place like Texas, I was very lucky because in my city we did have a bus route that I would take to work. But I know that is rare. In the US, it's like you need a car to do anything.
Oh, yeah.
But here, it's pretty nice because that would really stress me out. And so I don't need to drive here, and it's nice.
I've actually met a couple of Swedish people that just don't have a driving license, nor do their parents actually have a driving license. Oh, yeah. Which is really like, I didn't know that could...
It's more common here.
Yeah, it's quite odd. But in terms of like finding accommodations and because you said that you moved also before.
Yes.
Was it easy for you guys to find accommodation, or...
We moved a couple of times, I'd say, because usually the first location is not your ideal apartment. And then afterwards, it doesn't say with all the tuition fee people, obviously, because they get the accommodation provided by Lund Universities. So for us, it's like, just international, really. We just like jumping from one apartment to another until we find good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be quite tricky. At least I live in Malmo, and I used to live in Copenhagen actually last year. Yeah, so it was quite further out. But I did enjoy, of course, going every day to Malmo because, of course, the faculty of the public health and the faculty of medicine, part of it is also set up in Malmo. So of course I would have to travel every day. But then when I decided to move to Malmo, because it's much cheaper than Copenhagen, of course, it was much easier to find a place. It was very, very easy. And I was actually surprised from my previous experiences in other European cities how easy it was actually to find a place. Specifically in Malmo. Then again, I've never lived in Lund, so I can't speak for Lund. But in Malmo specifically, it was quite easy. Yeah.
I think, yeah, the ease of it is going to also be on like necessarily what you need. Like what is going to be like the number one thing that you need in your housing. I did end up moving a lot of times too. I think when I first arrived, it was like, you know, you kind of feel like I got something. I felt very lucky and I felt very happy.
Exactly.
But then once you're living your life and going through your routine, you realize like, oh, this is actually far from my faculty. You know, maybe the bus isn't, there's only one bus line. And so if I miss my bus, it's really stressful. But I actually ended up moving from that place, the first place that I found. I actually found it on Bopulen, which is one of the websites that they list to find housing.
Yeah.
And then I ended up switching to AF Bostader, so I was in a corridor for a while.
And actually, we do have a question, I think, from Vinny, who asks for any advice for international students looking for accommodations once they get to Lund. And I would say maybe definitely prepare much before coming to Lund. I think in general, the general advice that we always give is the fact that it's about preparing. So in any case, once you know that you have been admitted and you want to come here, then it's time already to actually start looking for an accommodation. And usually it's always generally okay. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add regarding that. Any tips?
Well, I would say because I was looking on Bopulen, and that might be, especially when you're basically looking for housing that's not necessarily, let's say, the LU accommodations, when it's kind of outside of the scope of like, okay, the university's involved with this, you're going to be dealing with people that you don't know. So just, again, exercise a lot of caution. What I did in this situation is when I found a place where I was like, okay, I'm in contact with this person. I actually did a video call with the person who I was looking to rent from. Yeah, and I asked questions like who last lived there. Like I just wanted to know, like, is this a place that was actively being rented? Would they be able to answer these questions? Like I think if I ask you questions about like living there and the last person who lived there, I could say like, okay, you actually did rent this place to somebody. And in a video call, you could also see the space. So it's not like, oh, you know, they took pictures from somewhere and uploaded a fake advertisement. So again, just be very careful, especially because a lot of the time you're going to be looking online at those housing options.
Yeah, no, of course. And I was just seeing another question from Estrella asking if there's a good connection from Malmö to the University of Lund, and absolutely there is. It's about 20 minutes by train, and Malmö has about 3 stations, I believe, Ilje, Triangeln, and Central Station of Malmö. So it's actually very easy to get around. And actually Lund University also has another campus for a couple of degrees that is in Helsingborg. That is also very easy to reach by train. So it's actually really, really well connected overall. And there was also another question coming in asking whether the foreign students get accommodation provided by the university. And this depends on whether you pay tuition fees or not. So normally if you do pay tuition fees, then you do get a housing guarantee. And if you do not pay tuition fees, then it's up to you to find your own accommodation.
Could I comment on that?
Please.
Just so that you guys are,
informed.
Yeah, well informed. Because I was in the situation where I was offered housing through the university. However, because there's a lot of people that have that housing guarantee and only so many apartments, sometimes the one that you get may be outside of your price range. So that's why it's important to like really consider your budget and really just be aware of like, what are my needs? Are you willing to pay that much rent? And if it is too much, in my case, it was a little too much for what I could afford. And I had to really just switch gears and look into housing in a different place just because it didn't suit my budget.
No, exactly. But I'm glad that also you're bringing up budgeting because, of course, as students, that's the daily life.
You gotta
of
talk
course.
about it.
And I guess in terms of, because we were talking about fika or having coffee out, of course, sometimes I was wondering if you guys, how do you budget that in terms of eating out or seeing friends? Do you usually meet people in informal contexts or,
Well, I will say that it's not as... Okay, I will say for eating out, like let's say dinner and a big meal.
Yeah.
I don't really do that here.
Me too.
Yeah. It's a special thing.
It is a very special, you do it probably once a month.
Yeah,
That's even a lot, honestly.
Yeah, so primarily, it's primarily just organizing things at home, meeting people for a cup of tea either at home or at a cafe.
Yeah. With coffee and fika, I think that is definitely more affordable, especially if like it also depends on where you're going, right? Like if you're going to a really fancy bakery, or you could go to Ica, which is the grocery store here. They have good coffee. It is affordable. They have lots of options there.
They do.
So again, there's different levels to how bougie your fika can get.
No, it's true. Even in terms of supermarkets, that's very true. Yeah.
I'd say about 10% is a lot. 10% out of my budget is a lot, but I would say 5%. Probably.
Yeah,
I'm just extracting.
As the light now is just receding, and then we're entering the winter time. I love baking at home. That's so much fun always. And then I just bring goodies to school, and everyone is happy. But I think especially if you have an oven, it's so much fun. Yeah.
You're a hero. I don't have an oven in my place, so I'm like, thank you for your hard work.
I can imagine. But do you have any other tips? I guess in terms of like either saving or
I mean, inflation is.
Wow, we're the inflation.
Just like I'm bringing the big word. But I think like what is it? A few websites would probably recommending about 2,500 to 3,000 per month. That's like the food. Funding.
Yeah.
Alone.
I love also that in Lund and as well as Malmo, there's a very big Too Good To Go community of restaurants. So that I really enjoy to actually, especially when I'm lazy and I'm like, should I have a falafel? Oh yeah, the falafel culture, at least in Malmo, is huge.
There is very like a good variety of ways of like playing it. One place that I think a lot of people don't I need you to be aware of this. It's working for your food at a nation. If you volunteer at a nation, for the most part, that you'll, again, this depends on your nation, this depends on the shift. Sometimes you'll get dinner for working that night. And when I worked at Kalmar Nation, they gave me 2 food tickets. Wow. So I could then go like get lunch, get dinner. And so if you keep working, keep volunteering, you might, save up your tickets. It was interesting. You'd see people just walk in, put their little food ticket and they'd be like, lunch to go, and then walk out.
That reminds me of in supermarkets they have like the magazine with all the discount of the food items for each week.
Yes,
that's very important, guys. Start reading. So then like all those magazines you can start like probably you can send at home maybe, but if you do them, if you stop them from sending into your home, you can just go to any Willys or Coop or any location, local supermarkets, and they usually have that magazine to grab. And you can read up on them. Some items are actually very relevant to us, like, pasta, tomato, some meat is also on discount. Or maybe it's also very helpful.
Yeah.
So to keep in the loop with the magazine. That's a good tip. And I guess in terms a little bit in regards to budgeting, did you guys find a job whilst here, or were you considering ever getting a part-time job while studying? Does your program allow for it, or?
Yes. Not me.
Oh, no,
I'm doing. I think it's more like it's just unpaid work, so it's just for the experience, which is a bit unfortunate, but it happens. Very, very common to get unpaid, like internship or unpaid job. I'd say just volunteer.
No, sure, but you weren't looking for a job in hospitality, for example, or something part time.
Well, I work as a contract, so I've too many jobs, which I'm very lucky to be in this position. But I do have a remote job that, again, I think if you're looking specifically for part-time work and you don't speak Swedish, I think it's super challenging.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think actually we had a question from a fellow Italian on the chat. I think I'm going to say Maria, although I don't exactly remember. But yeah, she was actually asking whether Swedish is needed to find a job. Yeah.
I would say that if you're looking for like the classic, like I want to work in, like I'll just say for most part-time jobs here, I see that they require Swedish to some level. So again, if you're looking to apply, I would really recommend and you are in this mindset of like, I'm going to need a job. It's very, very important to start learning, studying, practicing your Swedish now because it is a big expectation. The work that, again, there are still ways to get work, but sometimes it will have to be either like contract work, and that's a very complicated thing to get into and explain right now. But I do, I work as a contract worker for I work remotely for a place in the U.S. Again, there's different tax things that you have to do for all of that.
Of course.
However, there's also, I have a job in Malmö. I work as an art teacher and host.
That's so nice.
I know. I really like my job. It's really nice. Shout out Sip and Create in Malmö if you ever want to come. But they're great people. Actually, in my program, Applied Cultural Analysis, we have to do a work placement. And so I wanted to, it's basically, again, this unpaid internship sort of thing that we were talking about to get experience. I sent out a bunch of cold emails saying, like, I am looking for a place to do my project. Please, 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 please. And it took me like months. And they got back to me and they're like, hey, basically no to your project, but are you looking for a job? And I was like,
well,
even better. And so then I started working with them, and it really is one of those things where it's just like, just try, like really just email people. Don't be afraid to like send in your resume. You never know when that opportunity is going to come to you.
And also a little note on that is that, again, when you're coming to Lund, you're studying, right? That's like the priority in your program.
Yes.
So do not put all the job, all the income into your head, because the most important thing is you need to study.
100%.
Make sure you are, even if you don't get a job, I mean, come on. Like
No, exactly. Like, you should always, in any case, consider the fact that you're a full-time student and that's actually your job. But then anything extra, of course, is welcome if you do find the time and if you're able to keep up with the study, of course. Maybe we were talking about accommodation before. There's Andrea who's asking whether you guys think it's better to live in Lund or in nearby cities. I guess it's a good representation because, you live a little bit out, and you live in Lund and I live in Malmö, so,
There's pros and cons, definitely.
Yeah, but if we were talking like purely on the price tag, I mean, there's no differences, I don't think. We have price ranges in all areas, but Lund is a little bit more expensive. But that's biases. Opinion.
I think it's just, again, because just everybody, it's really convenient to live if your faculty is in Lund and you want to live in Lund.
Right.
There's only so much student accommodation.
Exactly.
So of course, like, supply demand, the prices are going to be a little higher in Lund. But I do think, like, for example, how long does it take you to get to your faculty, like on a normal day?
25 minutes?
25 minutes? That's really
But that's
good.
by walking, though.
Oh, and you walk.
But
That's really nice.
Right. But because, like, the buses are usually a bit slow in the morning because everyone's trying to go to school.
Yeah.
Or everyone's trying to go to their workplace. So then the bus is always, like, a little slower.
And sometimes, may I say, they come in earlier. It's something that, as Italian, this has been a complete shock. The bus will come in 2 minutes earlier, and I was like, what do you mean I missed the bus? I'm on time.
So then you ended up just walk, really. And then you get complete control over your time.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when I lived in Lund, it was just like, okay, I'm just going to start walking. And if I come across a bus, that's nice. I'll take the bus if it happens to match up with me. But
yeah, of course.
And right now, I live in the countryside. And so I will say it is cheaper than when I lived in Lund. However, again, it takes me extra steps to get here.
Yeah.
So, and that also, you have to consider, yes, it's cheaper, but then, so the way that the bus and train tickets work, you have them usually for a specific area.
Yeah.
And so the bigger the area, the more you have to pay. So my area has gone up. And so I pay a little bit more for my bus and the train.
Yeah.
And I have to be more mindful of my schedule. I can't just like...
You can tell with the student discount.
Oh yeah, there is a student discount.
Yeah.
Very slight student discount.
Just check your student discount for the ticket. Usually, was it like 25%? I don't know.
I don't know the exact number.
Yeah. But we have student discount, so...
Yeah, and I would say also, because I think there was a question from Julia that was asking about living in Copenhagen and whether it was a little bit easier to find an hospitality job without knowing Danish. Absolutely, that is the case, although only European nationals can live in Copenhagen and then commute daily to Sweden.
Yeah.
So that's of course a big barrier for those who do not have a European citizenship. But yeah, it is doable, of course. And then I think then it works a little bit differently if you're in Denmark instead of Sweden. So you also get a different student discount in terms of like the trains. So it's considerably cheaper than having to go to Copenhagen daily. But of course, that's not the situation for a lot of people.
Yeah. And I will say, going to Copenhagen by train every day, like that would be, I think, a pretty significant expense.
100%. From here, for sure. But then my experience at least is that I had a couple of classmates last year and they were living in like rural areas of Lund, and they would take about an hour to go to get to Malmo, to the clinical research center where the master is held.
Yeah.
And I would take about 1 hour as well. So actually, like the commute was actually relatively similar, but of course, you know, they were really in a rural side of Lund, and I was very much close to a station in Copenhagen. Depends on a billion things and little details on
for sure.
But perhaps now moving a little bit more towards making friends and your social life. How was it for you guys moving here? Did you already know someone, or was it really
I think for me it's more that I've lived in Lund for a bit, so I did my high school year. That means I have a baseline of friends that I had, and then afterwards it's like, you know, you get into your program and all these are all new people, right? So usually you start like, you know, signing up for all these activities. Usually it's in the email, right? You have all the international mentors and the ambassador program. It's not that early, I don't think. But yeah, like you have a lot of activities going on from within the program and also outside of the program. So looking forward to that email always, have a lot of information on it. And then I sign myself up. I just sign up for nations. I sign myself up for the tiny group in the international mentors and then ambassadors. It took me quite a bit before I have the nerve to sign up for for this one. But then afterwards, like I have enough friends from all of these realm of activities. So now I have quite a bit. But they're all internationals though. So if you want to ask like, specifically for the Swedish friends, I don't know if I can answer that.
Really? Okay. And how many Swedish people are there in your program as well?
We have about, right now in the program we have about 70 people.
Okay.
Then is an English speaking program. So mainly internationals. I'd say about 10-12 people are Swedish.
No, of course. But the social scene is a little bit different because I can imagine that, of course, Swedish students, especially at the bachelor phase, go in already having friends from high school or wherever they grew up. Of course, that makes sense. And how was it for you, Diana, coming in and socializing? I guess from also a US perspective, it's very different.
I guess it might be. I will say though, I was very lucky because I have a Swedish partner, and so that kind of gives me like I have a Swedish person that I know, and you know, now all of their friends are my friends and all of that. But besides that, I will say that I think some of the closest friends and like the closest friendships that I've made are with people in my program. Like you mentioned earlier, like, you know, these are people that you kind of see, at least in my program, like you see them, especially in the first semester, like almost every day. And in my program, we did a lot of group work. So you would be with like your specific group and like, okay, we have a project, you know, we're together for 2 weeks just actively working on this. So you spend a lot of time together and really get to know them. And on that note, also, my program right now is about like 30-ish folks. And I would say that a good bit of them are Swedish as well. So maybe like, you said like 10 in your people?
Yeah, 10 out of like 70 people. So we're like just a small fraction out of this big international groups.
For my group, it was like there's 10, like around 10 Swedes out of 30. So it's like a bigger group.
Yeah.
So I have some Swedish friends from there as well.
Yeah. But in any case, you found it relatively easy to have a social network relatively quickly upon coming in.
I'd say like it depends on how the group dividing, because obviously, you know, like 70 people or like 100 people is actually a big group, so then you don't really, you just throw yourself off this big pond of people, really. And so you make a lot of like just small talk, and then it's like, okay, then who is actually your friend? And it's like about, 6 months to 8 months, and if you ended up seeing them in your group work, which is like, a smaller settings maybe, then it's easier to like, okay, would you like to be friends? Would you like to go have a coffee with me? Get to know each other. So then I said like, a bit on the opposite side of my case, because we have like, courses, but then also, different, just different courses. So then we ended up just taking a lot of time to actually get into that inner circle.
I mean,
of course.
definitely, I think it just like, no matter the circumstance, it's gonna take a little while. You're not just gonna show up and like, I have a bunch of friends. But I will say that maybe that's a plus to my program, because again, we are a little bit of a smaller group, but because of that, it just like very naturally kind of developed that the friendships and stuff like that. And again, we kind of just saw each other and saw this smaller group every single day. And even though, like, some of them, I'm not going to say, like, oh, yeah, like, so-and-so is my best friend. But, like, we're going through the same thing together. And, like, even though that person might not be, like, my very best friend, like, the people in my program, I'm like, oh, I got their back. Like, I know they got my back. Yeah. We just have, like, a mutual connection by being in the program together.
Oh, yeah. Then I might say the same with, because so I'm going to go in a little bit in my specific bachelor's, because we have 4 different majors, right? So political science, sociology, economic history, and I forgot the 4th. But anyway, so then my group is sociology, which means it's a bit of an outlier this year apparently, because we only have about 10 to 15 people going into that major. The rest of them going to economic history or political science. So then our group is actually pretty tiny, and then we have a little bit of like, a hidden understanding that like sociology people are protecting each other. And so then like it's specific context probably.
And I think it also, as you guys were saying, also really depends on the program, because I was having so many classes also in the first year of the MPH. Then I also felt like I didn't really need to see people in the evening. As in, it depends, of course, on how much you're an extrovert or an introvert, and it's of course to each their own, and it really depends, of course. But then for me, it was really 8 hours of seeing people, and then I was just like, oh no, I can also spend the evening alone. Like, I didn't want to be rude, but also, I could have some time. But I think there was also someone, Sana was asking about the ratio at the MPH, so how many locals and how many international students. I think this depends a little bit. But the MPH specifically, so my program, I think it's only 6 Swedish people for 40 students, so it's quite low still. But it depends a little bit. And I guess, was there anything that surprised you upon moving to Sweden specifically?
Calling the professor by their first name. That's a big culture shock. For me, it's just like Mrs. or Mr. And then now it's just like, oh, well, I don't want to say their name now, but
it would be weird not to.
Right, exactly. So then it's just like, I don't feel a little like, because, we're still having the hierarchy, right? Like, we need to respect them because they are the one who teach us. But then at the same time, like, we're not friends. So it is a little bit like, I don't know. It's just a bit weird for me still.
Fair enough.
Yeah, from my side, I think it was the first time that, I was living here in Sweden. So it's relatively recent, because I moved here in June. Then I had to, of course, take out the trash. And then it took me about 15 minutes to figure out every single, the white glass goes here and the green glass goes there.
Right.
Yeah. So that was quite different,
I'm trying to think.
Just culture shock.
For me, it was like just very minimal things. Like I've had to like separate different sorts of. I lived. So if you're from Japan, Taiwan, any of these countries, in Japan, I remember having to sort my trash, and it's even more extreme there, I would say. Or if not similar.
So that this was really the ultimate level. So
no, oh my gosh, like the different plastics in Japan. Okay.
What?
Yeah. Pet bottles versus like they have little markings on the plastic to see which specific section it'll
from
go
like
into.
number 1 to 7, and then you have to learn all of them.
Yeah, you have to like they have charts and stuff. It also depends on your state. But anyway, as an American, I think so 2 things. One, it's just like tiny little products that I used to use every single day that are just weird to find here. Index cards. I wanted to make flashcards. I try to find an index card. If you know what I'm talking about, it's just like a square card that has lines on it, rectangular card has lines on it, and it's blank on the back. I use it for studying in the US.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm aware
They
of
don't
this.
sell them here.
Yeah.
And I found them and they were different.
Yeah,
they weren't
sure.
and I was like, what is this? It's such a small thing. And also rubbing alcohol. I used rubbing alcohol to clean things. Don't sell it here.
Yeah. I think for me, a similar thing was self-rising flour. For some reason, they don't sell it here.
Yeah.
So they only have flour, and then you put on the yeast, which makes sense. I understand that I can do that, but I also want just self-rising flour.
They also don't
There's
sell
biggest
chocolate.
problems in the world, of course.
Yeah.
But still. And I guess in your free time, guys, did you pick up any hobbies since coming here?
Ooh.
Anything?
I started gym.
Ooh.
I did not.
Yes.
No.
Nice.
But no, like I think it kind of stemmed from the fact that in Asia we're not very good with dealing with cold. So gym is also one way to keep your body warm kind of thing.
For sure.
It's the fattest way to like get your body heat up and then like get a little bit of strength in there. Oh, that being said, vitamin D.
Yes.
It's so important. I was just like, vitamin D. Gotta drink the pills, I think. We sell them, and the children are recommended to drink them because we don't have that much sunlight. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, especially right now, like November, I've noticed like, oh my gosh, right now it's like 3, it was 3 and then 4, and I'm like, the sun's already going down.
Yeah.
It's getting dark, so like around 4 to 5.
4 to 5, that's like, you don't see any sunlight anymore, guys.
Yeah, I think the most dramatic point is probably between, like, it's gonna come up in a month, and then we're only gonna have sunlight between 9 and 3.
Yeah.
But I think I kept quite a few activities for the winter, like museums and exhibitions that I would like to go to, and then I didn't do any of this during the summer, and then I hope to, have these kind of things.
Doing the cozy things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend that actually she started to work out also because she's like, in the winter I'm gonna get sad, and I know that exercising is good for my mental health.
Yes.
So it's just like, again, another thing to combat sort of like I mean, some of the bad feelings that happen when it starts getting darker earlier. But I started painting.
Yes.
That's lovely. They're so nice.
Nice indoor activities.
You guys are so original because I just followed the trend and I started knitting.
That's a new yes.
Yeah, that is really a trend. It's not, it's just that everyone is doing it. Everyone is doing the same patterns. Even in Lund, there's like specific knitting clubs. Like we all just meet and then we start knitting.
Right.
It's extremely cute. Like it's just like
cute.
Yeah. It's very cute that you just meet up for cups of tea and then just.
I do see people in my lectures sometimes, and they'll just be knitting while they're
It's
listening.
very
to
good for focusing too.
Yeah,
it's actually really good for neurodivergent people.
No, of course.
Cool.
Yeah. You're just knitting, and then you listen to class, and somehow they listen to a lot more.
Yeah, and then they have a scarf at the end of it.
Yes.
And I guess, did you attend any cultural events that happened in the summer or during your time here in Lund?
Ooh.
I mean, we have a Christmas market coming up, right? That count as a cultural event.
No, of course.
It does.
With the globe here, of course. Yeah.
I guess I'm very introverted with those sorts of things.
That's no problem.
No, I like them. Okay, there's cool things to like kind of walk past. Like they in the fall they have a zombie run.
Oh yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
Yes. During Halloween, right?
During Halloween, they have like these in the center of town. They'll set up like these like
big tunnels for you to sign up, and you have to like crawl under and then jump to the. Yeah. I saw the banners.
Yeah, so they'll do like a zombie run. People dressed up in full zombie like makeup and like jogging.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that was also very interesting to see because you're just like, what's going on? Oh.
That is quite fun. Yeah. But in any case, I guess also in terms of safety on and around campus is never really an issue. I don't know if, like, in terms of how safe you guys feel around in Lund, or because of course it depends on where you're coming from always.
Yeah.
But I never felt unsafe cycling around or.
No, I think people minding their own business here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One important thing I will mention is to always get bike lights.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking.
Yeah, bike lights super important to really have them on at all times. Take like an extra pair with you in case.
Like getting the high visibility jacket.
Reflections.
That's also very.
Sometimes
useful.
I saw dogs having it, and I was just like, "This is so cute."
Oh, they have the necklace with like the bling bling light.
Yeah. Because it gets so dark. It's really important that people see you, and I'm always thinking like, don't hit me with your car, please don't hit me with your car. But the good thing is too that a lot of those like little high visibility things, sometimes they sell them as like cute characters. I have a Moomin one on my jacket.
Right.
Yeah, so again, it's very important to be visible
in the winter. Visible.
Yeah, because I think that's like the most scary thing for me is like that's when I'm like, I need to be very careful about going out in the dark.
Oh yeah,
because we don't know.
No.
What
fair enough.
I don't want to get hit by a car.
There was someone else also mentioning, because we didn't really touch on about it in regards to meeting people outside of your program.
I mean, I did touch upon the going into like different nations and clubs. Then you can.
Could you expand a little bit on the nations and how they work here in?
Let's see.
From where I know, I think there's, I'm gonna say 13 nations, and I think back in the day it was, I don't know if you know this, guys, but it's quite fun. It's a nice story. Is that I think back in the day people would come from Karlskrona or different cities in Sweden, and then they would get to Lund University, and then they would sign up to the nation of their own specific region or county, and then so that they would meet up again. And of course nowadays that's not the case anymore. Anyone can just meet whichever, can just join whichever nation they would like to.
So with the nations, definitely I think this is like the introductory period before everything is made official. Like when I arrived in Lund, at least there was like about 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, where they kind of give you the option to just like try it out, like go to one nation. You don't have to sign up. They'll have events that anybody can show up to. I think this is also very good to meet people, just because again, like everybody who's new is going to these things, so you'll just like, I think if you're not the most extroverted type, there will be extroverted people there, at least. I had people just come up to be like, oh, hey, like, what's up? And just start a conversation. So that I think is a place to make friends.
Yeah. And also, I think it kind of back up to your story, Daria, is that the reason why I signed up for Göteborg Nation was because I studied before in Göteborg, and then I just go down and I'm like, Göteborg Nation.
So you actually did the original way.
I actually did. Yeah. Strangely enough. And then I just like kind of stayed, but then I ended up just I never exactly volunteer there, but there will always be opportunities for you to volunteer in the kitchen, probably like the breakfast, lunch, and dinner period. And then you can also meet them in the location, or like each of them or each nations has their own event. So some has brunch, some has like Saturday brunch, something like that. And then some also do a bit of the outdoor events if you're really into the outdoors. And I think Nation is just very student centric. Fully run by students.
Yeah, it is.
So very, very active.
And there's like a lot of ways that you can be involved, like depending on your hobbies and what you like. So I'm part of Kalmar Nation, and they have a very active specs. And what specs is so that everybody knows, in Lund, specs is basically like a slightly improv. Not really, it's theater, student theater.
Right.
So they put on these productions, and especially at Kalmar, Kalmar is an English language nation. That's like their official language. So if you're feeling a little bit nervous about speaking Swedish, like it's all in English, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But it was great for my friends because, you know, they're theater kids and they love acting. So like, okay, there's an activity that they can be a part of and do their hobby, but also naturally meet people.
Yeah, and there's also nations also sometimes, well, not sometimes, but like they offer housing as well.
Yeah,
they
true.
do.
That's true.
They do. I think like nowadays you can start seeing the spec poster outside of all the buildings now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it depends a little bit because sometimes you can have a corridor room, which I think is for most of the nations, right? And then, and I think outside of the nations, then you have studios and other apartments.
Yeah, they have apartments sometimes, like full apartments.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen those.
Yeah, one of my friends lives in a nation like apartment.
Wow.
It's a very nice apartment. From my experience, I do think that, again, those are nation specific.
Yeah.
So I think for some of them, you can just send in an application and maybe, you know, you're going to get it. But it is like, you
kind of have to be involved in that nation, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly.
It's about knowing people. So if you're like, I'm active in this place and I'm here all the time, then I think you're more often going to hear like, oh, hey, this room is available, by the way, if you're interested, rather than someone who's just like checking online.
Right.
There's a student, Susanna, who's asking whether there is the theater club is doing musicals. Do you know?
I thought they always do musicals.
I think it depends on the specs.
Right.
It depends on the specs. Again, and it depends on the show. Depends on the group.
But I guess the short answer is yes.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Look for it. Keep an eye out. Audition.
And I guess in terms of more like academic life in general, do you guys normally have a lot of group work or do you more study individually? Because you, Diana, were also mentioning about the fact that you have a group work every week.
Yeah. My program is a lot of group work. Okay. A lot of it is, so we work with clients, so real life clients. Like I worked with the Malmö Open Preschools for Malmö Kommun. And so then we had like a team and we worked on that project for like 1 to 2 months. And it was with the same group of people. So most of the things that I've done have been group work. But of course, then we have, at the end of each course, we have an essay that we have to do, and that's individual, independent.
Of course.
But yeah, most of my courses have been group work. How about you?
Oh, I think, no, like we have group work, absolutely, ranging from pairs to like a big group of 5, probably. And then it's just, again, like ranging from all the courses, all the timelines, and all the content. But yes, so we have a lot of group work, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's just among ourselves. We don't really go out and do any clients, not really.
And how about your lectures? Like, do you have a lot of like lectures? Like, is class like just going to a lecture and sitting there? Because I actually wish I kind of had more. we didn't have that many. Because a lot of it was like, okay, here's the introduction. Like, okay, now let's get to work. And I was like, it wasn't what I was expecting in terms of a lot of like, oh, I'm going into a lecture hall and sitting there for hours. But that's my program. How about y'all?
Sorry, so you do have a lot of sitting down lectures?
I don't.
No, she doesn't. But I do. So I have usually it divided into different periods. So we have like the first and the second week is like you sit down, you listen to all these notes and like lectures and all that. Afterwards, or the week after, is like, okay, group work. What did you learn from it? What is the literature that you have read? And then you started to apply, or you started writing essay about it, or things like that. And then the week after, we're like going back to the lecture room and like, okay, here's the new stuff. You learn again, you're doing it again, and then it's the same thing. So it's kind of, just very traditional, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, my program, I think it's a bit of a mix of both. Sometimes we do have sitting down lectures, but a lot of other lectures are just workshops, or we even have a sort of delivery of lecture that is team-based learning. So actually we just discuss certain questions and topics, and actually we argue with the teacher to be right. It's a lot of fun.
That is very fun.
And we all have to argue for our position, including the teacher, and sometimes the teacher loses. So that's
nice.
That's always a lot of fun. But it's a bit of a different. But I think also in terms of like academic research has been shown that the more you are active in your class, even if it's just by asking questions or being present and whatnot, then you're learning much more. So I guess it makes sense. Yeah. I think I was also quite surprised that here breaks are every 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
No.
Oh, wait.
What are we 45?
Yeah. Like I start at 10:15 and then the break is at 11. And then 15 minutes of break, and then you start again. So every 45 minutes I have a break.
Do you not?
Do you not? Well,
Oh, okay. I heard it wrong. I thought you guys have 45 minutes of break.
Oh no, I don't.
No.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we do
Okay.
as well, guys.
I was like,
I'm just like,
you get
disclaimer. Disclaimer, yes, we do.
Which is nice, because like I think in the traditional, like what I'm used to back in the US and when I did my bachelor's, it's very much just like, I really need water or I need something, but I need to sit here and not move. But it's so chill and like, okay, I have never had any of my instructors not say like, okay, time for a break. Like they also need the break. They're like, I want to get coffee. I need to go to the bathroom. So we have like a built-in coffee break, which is nice.
Like one of my lecturers even like, okay, I'm gonna start pressuring you guys now. You guys have a break? Yeah, okay. There's like the pure pressure with all. I'm like, okay, I mean, we do actually, we love a break.
Like we must have a break. No,
yeah.
But then again, I think also that also follows the literature on learning that it's handy to have very often quite a few breaks, and then you can have the fika within the break. It's
Yeah, it's you start seeing people running to the cafe nearby, and they'll go come back with a little cup of coffee or a little treat.
For the cinnamon bun day, at least at the clinical research center, we actually just had cinnamons for everywhere, cinnamon rolls for everyone. That just
that's so nice.
Yeah, they just brought them in. I think it was a very nice teacher who bought them for the whole program. But it was just like, well, guys, just like trying to be very sweet, of course.
I mean, and on that note, like I don't know about you, but I think it's very common in my lecture spaces or like whenever I'm in class, like people just have their snacks and we're like snacking or we have coffee.
Oh, hell yeah. Yes.
While we're in
food is allowed in lecture.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's a couple of people in the chat that are parents and they were wondering whether it's possible to come to Lund as parents. In my program, there's definitely quite a few parents, maybe because the Master of Public Health is also seen as a program that you usually take at a later stage, maybe in your professional life in some cases. Yes. So there's definitely people that have also immigrated into Sweden with their families. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I think my program has one mom. So she has a young kid. I don't know the age of the kid because we're not that close. But so she commute to work. To study. And then she would go back, and I think it would be kind of the same schedule as any workplace, I'd say. You know, if you travel to school studying and then go back and take care of your son, completely possible.
Yeah. We're almost coming to the end, and I guess I have the last question. Yesterday, the very positive news came out that we are the most sustainable university in the world, which is insane. Yes. And I was wondering, like, what is the most sustainable habit that you picked up since coming here?
Oh my gosh. What do you go?
I started drinking out of thermoglass or like a thermal bottle instead of actually go out and just keep using the one single.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I just then I'll brew my tea at home and then I'll bring my tea to school.
Yeah, my institute even has their own coffee machine. So you can just have the locker, the coffee machine, the coffee in your locker, and then you can just put it in. Yeah,
absolutely.
For me, it's when I started living in the student housing. They had a thing called the green room where people can leave the stuff that they don't need anymore, and you can go ahead and get it. So anything like secondhand, buy, selling, trading on Facebook, like I always loved that, but having that green room where I could just like, I got a router there. The shoes that I'm wearing are from the green room. Wow. Again, just like an exchange of goods and having a place to do that has been really nice and very helpful as a student because it also helps me save money.
No, 100%. And I think also for me, maybe coming with my Italian clothing wasn't quite prepared. And then at the moment I went into Lund or Malmo and looked for secondhand stores, there were so many. So now I actually just have everything that is secondhand.
Nice.
So that's great. And But yeah, I guess in any case, we're coming to the end of the YouTube Live event. Great that you could all join us today. And it was really a lot of fun for us, I hope.
Yeah, it was really
Thanks
nice.
a lot for your participation and your questions. And I hope you have gotten maybe some idea of how it is to live in Lund and a daily life of a student like us. Thank you very much.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye-bye.